Number 7.
Elizabeth I was the English Queen who transformed England into a major European power and presided over a golden age of culture and exploration. Born the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, she overcame being declared illegitimate and survived the dangerous reigns of her siblings to become one of England's greatest monarchs. Her defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 established English naval supremacy and Protestant independence from Catholic Europe, while her court fostered the English Renaissance. Her decision to remain unmarried, earning her the title Virgin Queen, allowed England to avoid foreign domination through marriage alliances and established her as an iconic female ruler.
Number 8.
Victoria was the British Queen, whose 63-year reign defined an entire era and saw the British Empire reach its greatest extent and global influence. Born at Kensington Palace, she inherited the throne at age 18 and ruled through unprecedented industrial expansion, social reform, and imperial growth. Her marriage to Prince Albert produced 9 children who married into European royal families, earning her the nickname Grandmother of Europe and spreading British influence across the continent. As Empress of India from 1876, she presided over an empire where the sun never set, and her name became synonymous with moral propriety, technological progress, and British global dominance.
Number 9.
Hawking was the British theoretical physicist who unlocked secrets of the universe while battling motor neuron disease with extraordinary courage and determination. Diagnosed with ALS at age 21 and given 2 years to live, he defied medical predictions to become one of history's most influential scientists over the next 5 decades. His groundbreaking work on black holes and cosmology revolutionized physics, while his best-selling book, A Brief History of Time, made complex scientific concepts accessible to millions of readers worldwide. His triumph over devastating physical limitations and his brilliant contributions to science made him an inspiration globally and a symbol of human determination, conquering adversity.
Number 10.
Henry VIII was the English king whose quest for a male heir led to the English Reformation and permanently changed the religious landscape of Europe. Born the second son of Henry VII, he became king at 18 and initially embodied the Renaissance ideal of the warrior scholar monarch, athletic and cultured. His desire to divorce Catherine of Aragon and marry Anne Boleyn led to his historic break with Rome and the establishment of the Church of England, with himself as supreme head. His 6 marriages, execution of 2 wives, and dissolution of the monasteries created a legacy of religious upheaval and royal tyranny that defined the Tudor era and shaped English identity.
Number 11.
Nelson was Britain's greatest naval hero who established British supremacy at sea during the Napoleonic Wars through tactical brilliance and personal courage. Born in Norfolk, he joined the Royal Navy at age 12 and quickly rose through the ranks, losing an eye at Calvi and his right arm at Tenerife, while demonstrating unwavering determination. His innovative naval tactics broke enemy battle lines at Cape St. Vincent and the Nile, earning him fame and promotion to admiral. At Trafalgar in 1805, his signal, "England expects that every man will do his duty," preceded the greatest naval victory in British history, though he died at the moment of triumph, becoming a national martyr.
Number 12.
Wellington was the British general who defeated Napoleon Bonaparte at Waterloo and ended the French Emperor's domination of Europe. Born Arthur Wellesley in Ireland, he first proved his military genius during campaigns in India before leading the successful Peninsular War against French forces in Spain and Portugal. His methodical approach, defensive expertise, and ability to remain calm under extreme pressure made him nearly unbeatable in battle throughout his career. At Waterloo in 1815, he commanded the Allied forces that finally crushed Napoleon's military ambitions, earning him the title Iron Duke and establishing him as one of history's greatest military strategists.
Number 13.
Thatcher was Britain's first female prime minister who implemented radical economic reforms and became one of the most influential political figures of the 20th century. Born the daughter of a grocer in Grantham, she studied chemistry at Oxford before becoming a barrister and rising through conservative politics to become party leader. As Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990, she implemented revolutionary free market policies, broke the power of trade unions, privatized state industries, and restored Britain's international standing through decisive leadership during the Falklands War. Her uncompromising style and conservative revolution earned her the nickname Iron Lady and made her one of the most transformative and divisive leaders in modern British history.
Number 14.
Cook was the British explorer and navigator who mapped the Pacific Ocean and fundamentally changed European understanding of the world's geography. Born into a farming family in Yorkshire, he joined the Royal Navy and demonstrated exceptional navigational skills that led to his selection for 3 historic voyages of scientific exploration. His expeditions accurately charted New Zealand and the eastern coast of Australia, which he claimed for Britain, while also making first European contact with Hawaii and numerous Pacific islands. His scientific approach to exploration, accurate mapping, and detailed observations made him one of history's greatest navigators. Though his death in Hawaii during his 3rd voyage ended one of the most remarkable careers in exploration.
Number 15.
Elizabeth II was the British monarch who presided over the longest reign in British history and witnessed the transformation of the modern world. Born during the interwar period, she never expected to rule until her uncle's abdication made her father king, and she ascended to the throne at 25, following his unexpected death in 1952. Her 70-year reign witnessed the decolonization of the British Empire, the digital revolution, and Britain's relationship with Europe through joining and leaving the European Union. Her unwavering dedication to duty and service made her one of the most respected figures of the 20th and 21st centuries, symbolizing stability and continuity through decades of dramatic social and political change.
Number 16.
Cromwell was the English military and political leader who led the parliamentarian forces during the English Civil War and became Lord Protector of the Commonwealth. Born into the minor gentry in Huntingdon, he emerged as a brilliant military commander during the conflict against King Charles I, helping to transform the parliamentary army into the disciplined, new model army. His role in the trial and execution of Charles I in 1649 shocked Europe and established England as a republic for the first time in its history. As Lord Protector from 1653 to 1658, he ruled with dictatorial powers while promoting religious tolerance and expanding English influence abroad, becoming one of the most controversial figures in British history.
Number 17.
Fleming was the Scottish biologist whose accidental discovery of penicillin revolutionized medicine and saved millions of lives worldwide. Born on a farm in Ayrshire, he studied medicine in London and served as a captain in the Army Medical Corps during World War I before returning to research at St Mary's Hospital. In 1928, he noticed that mold had contaminated a bacterial culture in his laboratory, killing the surrounding bacteria, leading to his identification of penicillin as a powerful antibiotic. Though he initially struggled to develop penicillin for mass production, his discovery became the foundation of the antibiotic age and modern medicine, earning him the Nobel Prize and recognition as one of history's greatest medical pioneers.
Number 18.
Nightingale was the British nurse who revolutionized healthcare and established nursing as a respected profession through her pioneering work during the Crimean War. Born into a wealthy family, she defied social conventions by choosing nursing over marriage, training in Germany and France before volunteering for service in the Crimean War. Her reforms at the military hospital in Scutari dramatically reduced death rates from 42% to 2% through improved sanitation and patient care, earning her the nickname, the Lady with the Lamp. Her subsequent work establishing nursing schools, hospital design principles, and public health reforms transformed medical care globally and made her the founder of modern nursing and a pioneering figure in women's professional achievement.
Number 19.
Drake was the English sea captain and privateer who became the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe and played a crucial role in establishing England as a naval power. Born in Devon, he began his career raiding Spanish treasure ships in the Caribbean, earning both wealth and Queen Elizabeth I's favour through his successful attacks on England's enemies. His epic voyage around the world from 1577 to 1580 brought him a knighthood and legendary status, while also demonstrating English maritime capabilities to rival Spain. When Philip II launched the Spanish Armada in 1588, Drake served as Vice Admiral of the English fleet, helping to defeat the invasion and secure England's independence and Protestant identity.
Number 20.
Livingstone was the Scottish missionary and explorer who opened up the African interior to European knowledge and became a heroic figure in the Victorian imagination. Born into poverty in Scotland, he worked in a cotton mill while educating himself before training as a doctor and missionary, arriving in Africa in 1841. His epic journeys across southern and central Africa led to the European discovery of Victoria Falls and mapping of major river systems, while his reports of the slave trade helped galvanize British public opinion against slavery. His famous meeting with Henry Morton Stanley in 1871, greeted with the words, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume," Zrania, became one of the most celebrated encounters in exploration history and cemented his reputation as Africa's greatest explorer. They shaped minds that changed the destiny of humanity. They wrote, discovered, and died for truths that would echo through eternity. Some revolutionized science and medicine. Some created timeless art and literature. Others simply answered history's call. From Shakespeare's immortal words to Churchill's defiant speeches, from Newton's universal laws to Darwin's evolutionary truth, these 20 icons forged the modern world with genius, courage, and unwavering determination. History reduced them to textbooks and monuments, until now. Which iconic voice called out to you across the centuries? Which forgotten achievement now inspires your imagination? Tell us in the comments. Because to remember them is not just to learn, it's to honor their legacy. If their brilliance inspired you, leave a like and subscribe so together we can restore more legends time tried to silence. At Britain Reimagined, we don't just retell the past. We bring it back to life, one icon at a time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Britain Reimagined. World history was not only shaped by empires and wars, but by extraordinary individuals whose final moments defined their legacies forever. Socrates, Julius Caesar, Joan of Arc, Marie Antoinette, and many other legendary figures met their deaths in ways that shocked the world and changed the course of human events. Based on verified historical sources, professional reconstruction software, and advanced AI technology, they return astonishingly lifelike. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
Number 1.
Socrates was the ancient Greek philosopher who laid the foundation for Western philosophy and was executed for corrupting the youth of Athens. Born in Athens, he spent his life questioning conventional wisdom and teaching through dialogue, developing the Socratic method that remains central to education today. His relentless questioning of authority and traditional beliefs made him enemies among Athens' political elite, who accused him of impiety and corrupting young minds. Rather than flee into exile, he chose to drink poison hemlock in 399 BC, dying for his principles and becoming history's most famous martyr to intellectual freedom and the pursuit of truth.
Number 2.
Caesar was the Roman general and dictator whose assassination became the most famous political murder in history and inspired countless works of literature and drama. Born into patrician nobility, he conquered Gaul, crossed the Rubicon to trigger civil war, and emerged as Rome's most powerful leader before being named dictator for life. His reforms and military conquests expanded Roman territory and power, but his growing autocracy alarmed senators who feared the end of the Republic. On the Ides of March in 44 BC, he was stabbed 23 times by conspirators led by Brutus and Cassius, dying at the foot of Pompey's statue in one of history's most dramatic betrayals.
Number 3.
Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt whose legendary beauty and intelligence made her one of history's most famous rulers before her dramatic suicide. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, she spoke 9 languages and was highly educated, using her intellect and charm to forge alliances with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony to preserve Egyptian independence. Her relationship with Antony led to war with Octavian, later Augustus, and their defeat at the Battle of Actium sealed Egypt's fate as a Roman province. Rather than face the humiliation of being paraded through Rome as a captive, she chose to die by snakebite in 30 BC, ending the Ptolemaic dynasty and becoming a symbol of defiant royal dignity in defeat.
Number 4.
Spartacus was the Thracian gladiator who led the largest slave rebellion in Roman history and became an enduring symbol of resistance against oppression. Born in Thrace, he was enslaved and trained as a gladiator in Capua before escaping with fellow fighters in 73 BC and building an army of over 120,000 rebel slaves. His military genius allowed him to defeat multiple Roman legions and terrorize the Italian peninsula for 2 years, threatening the very foundation of Roman society. After his final defeat by Crassus in 71 BC, he was crucified along with 6,000 of his followers along the Appian Way. But his legacy as a freedom fighter has inspired oppressed peoples throughout history.
Number 5.
Joan of Arc was the French peasant girl who claimed divine visions and led France to victory against English invaders before being burned as a heretic at age 19. Born in Domremy during the 100 Years' War, she convinced the French court that God had chosen her to crown the Dauphin king and drive out the English occupiers. Her military successes at Orléans and other battles turned the tide of the war and led to Charles VII's coronation. But her capture by Burgundian allies of the English sealed her fate. Tried for heresy and witchcraft by a pro-English ecclesiastical court, she was burned at the stake in Rouen in 1431, only to be posthumously vindicated and canonized as a saint becoming France's national heroine.
Number 6.
Marie Antoinette was the Austrian-born Queen of France, who became the symbol of royal excess and was guillotined during the French Revolution's reign of terror. Born an Austrian archduchess, she married the future Louis XVII at 14 to cement a political alliance, but her foreign birth and lavish lifestyle made her deeply unpopular with the French people. Her alleged response, "Let them eat cake," to news of bread shortages, though historically disputed, epitomized the monarchy's disconnect from popular suffering during France's economic crisis. After the monarchy's fall, she was tried for treason and conspiracy with foreign enemies, meeting her death by guillotine in October 1793, with dignity that impressed even her executioners.
Number 7.
Louis XVI was the French king whose indecisive leadership during the financial crisis led to the French Revolution and his own execution by guillotine. Born heir to the throne, he inherited massive debt from previous wars and struggled with the conflicting demands of reform and tradition, while France teetered on bankruptcy. His calling of the Estates General in 1789 inadvertently triggered the revolution, and his attempts to flee France and seek foreign intervention destroyed his credibility with the people. Tried by the National Convention for treason and conspiracy against public liberty, he was guillotined in January 1793, with his death marking the definitive end of absolute monarchy in France and shocking the crowned heads of Europe.
Number 8.
Guy Fawkes was the English Catholic conspirator who attempted to blow up Parliament and became history's most famous failed terrorist. Born a Protestant in Yorkshire, he converted to Catholicism and joined the Gunpowder Plot to kill King James I and restore Catholic rule to England. Discovered in the cellars beneath Parliament with 36 barrels of gunpowder on November 5, 1605, he was arrested before the plot could succeed. After enduring torture in the Tower of London, he was hanged, drawn, and quartered in January 1606, but his name became immortalized in the annual Guy Fawkes Night celebrations that continue to this day.
Number 9.
The Rosenbergs were the American couple executed for atomic espionage in one of the most controversial cases of the Cold War era. Julius, an electrical engineer, and Ethel, a devoted mother, were accused of passing nuclear secrets to the Soviet Union through a spy network that included Ethel's brother David Greenglass. Their trial took place during the height of McCarthyism and anti-communist hysteria, with prosecutors arguing they had accelerated Soviet development of atomic weapons. Despite international protests and appeals for clemency, they were executed by electric chair in June 1953, maintaining their innocence to the end and becoming martyrs to some while remaining traitors to others in America's divided memory.
Number 10.
Anne Boleyn was the English queen whose marriage to Henry VIII triggered the English Reformation, but whose failure to produce a male heir led to her execution for treason. Born into an ambitious courtier family, she was educated in France and caught King Henry's attention when he desperately sought to divorce Catherine of Aragon for a son. Her insistence on marriage rather than becoming his mistress led Henry to break with Rome and declare himself head of the Church of England. When she gave birth to Elizabeth instead of the hoped-for male heir and suffered miscarriages, Henry turned against her and she was executed on fabricated charges of adultery, incest and treason in May 1536, paving the way for one of England's greatest monarchs.
Number 11.
Mary Queen of Scots was the tragic Scottish monarch whose claim to the English throne made her a threat to Elizabeth I and led to her eventual execution after 19 years of captivity. Born just days before inheriting the Scottish crown, She was raised in the sophisticated French court, before returning to rule Protestant Scotland as a Catholic queen. Her disastrous marriage to Lord Darnley and suspected involvement in his murder forced her to flee to England, where she sought protection from her cousin, Elizabeth III. After years of house arrest and involvement in various plots against Elizabeth's rule, she was finally tried for treason and beheaded at Fotheringhay Castle in February 1587, becoming a martyr to the Catholic cause.
Number 12.
Charles I was the English king whose belief in divine right and conflicts with Parliament led to civil war and his shocking execution that sent shockwaves throughout Europe. Born the second son of James I, he became heir after his brother's death and inherited his father's absolutist beliefs, but lacked his political skill. His attempts to rule without Parliament, impose religious uniformity, and raise taxes without consent triggered the English Civil War in 1642. After defeat by parliamentary forces led by Oliver Cromwell, he was tried by a specially created court for high treason against the people of England and beheaded outside Whitehall Palace in January 1649, becoming the first European monarch to be legally executed by his own subjects.
Number 13.
Hussein was the Iraqi dictator whose brutal rule and wars with neighboring countries led to his eventual capture and execution following the 2003 US invasion. Rising through the ranks of the Ba'ath Party, he became president in 1979 and established a totalitarian regime marked by the use of chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians and political opponents. His invasion of Iran, 1980 to 1988, and Kuwait, 1990, led to devastating wars and international sanctions that crippled Iraq. After his regime was toppled by the US-led coalition, he was captured hiding in a hole near Tikrit, tried by an Iraqi court for crimes against humanity, and executed by hanging in December 2006, with footage of his execution causing international controversy.
Number 14.
Mata Hari was the exotic dancer and courtesan who became World War I's most famous alleged spy and was executed by French firing squad. Born Margarita Geertruida Zeller in the Netherlands, she reinvented herself as an exotic Eastern dancer and became the toast of European high society with her sensual performances and numerous lovers. During World War I, her affairs with military officers from various countries and her international lifestyle made her a convenient scapegoat when French intelligence needed to blame someone for military failures. Arrested by the French in 1917 on charges of spying for Germany, she was tried in a closed military court with little evidence and executed, likely innocent of the charges, but forever immortalized as history's most famous female spy.
Number 15.
Robespierre was the French revolutionary leader who orchestrated the Reign of Terror, but ultimately fell victim to the very instrument of execution he had used against thousands. Known as the Incorruptible for his moral rigidity, he rose from provincial lawyer to become the dominant figure in the Committee of Public Safety during the French Revolution's most radical phase. His vision of a republic of virtue led to the systematic execution of perceived enemies of the revolution, including former allies like Danton, as he sought to purge France of corruption through terror. When other revolutionaries finally turned against him in the Thermidorian reaction of July 1794, he was arrested and guillotined the next day without trial, ending the terror and marking a turning point in the revolution.
Number 16.
Bruno was the Italian philosopher and scientist who was burned at the stake by the Roman Inquisition for his revolutionary ideas about the universe and refusal to recant his beliefs. Born in Naples, he became a Dominican friar, but was drawn to forbidden philosophical ideas, including the infinite nature of the universe and the possibility of life on other worlds. His support for Copernican astronomy and his belief that the Earth was not the center of creation brought him into direct conflict with Catholic doctrine. After years of persecution and exile across Europe, he was arrested by the Venetian Inquisition in 1592 and handed over to Rome, where he spent 8 years in prison before being burned alive in February 1600, becoming a martyr to scientific freedom and intellectual courage.
Number 17.
John the Baptist was the Jewish preacher who baptized Jesus Christ and was executed for criticizing the moral conduct of King Herod Antipas. Born to elderly parents according to Christian tradition, he became a wilderness preacher calling for repentance and baptizing followers in the Jordan River as preparation for the coming Messiah. His denunciation of Herod's marriage to his brother's wife Herodias as unlawful led to his imprisonment, though Herod feared to execute him due to his popularity among the people. When Herodias' daughter Salome pleased Herod with her dancing, she requested John's head on a platter at her mother's urging, leading to his beheading in prison around 30 AD and making him Christianity's first martyr.
Number 18.
Wallace was the Scottish knight who led the resistance against English occupation and became Scotland's greatest national hero before suffering one of history's most brutal executions. Born into minor nobility, he emerged as a leader during Scotland's First War of Independence, achieving a stunning victory over English forces at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. His military successes made him Guardian of Scotland, but subsequent defeats and betrayal by Scottish nobles led to his capture by the English in 1305. Edward I ordered him to be hanged, drawn, and quartered in London as a traitor, with his dismembered body parts displayed across Scotland as a warning. But his sacrifice only strengthened Scottish resolve for independence.
Only one person is voting.
Number 19.
Brown was the American abolitionist whose radical methods and raid on Harper's Ferry made him a martyr to the anti-slavery cause and helped precipitate the Civil War. Born into a deeply religious family, he became convinced that violent action was necessary to end slavery and participated in bleeding Kansas conflicts over whether the territory would be free or slave. His plan to arm enslaved people and spark a general uprising led to his raid on the federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, in October 1859. But the attack failed, and he was captured by Robert E. Lee. Tried for treason against Virginia and inciting slave rebellion, he was hanged in December 1859, becoming a martyred saint to abolitionists and helping push the nation toward civil war.
Number 20.
Guevara was the Argentine revolutionary who helped lead the Cuban Revolution and became a global icon of rebellion before his execution in Bolivia. Born into a middle-class family, his motorcycle journey across South America as a medical student exposed him to poverty and injustice, radicalizing him against imperialism and capitalism. He joined Fidel Castro's revolutionary movement, serving as a key military commander during the Cuban Revolution, and later as a government minister in the new regime. His attempt to foment revolution in Bolivia ended when he was captured by CIA-assisted Bolivian forces and executed in October 1967, transforming him into a martyred symbol of Third World Revolution, whose image became one of the most recognizable in popular culture. They faced death with courage that echoed through eternity. They died for beliefs, causes, and principles that would outlive their executioners. Some challenged empires and kingdoms. Some defended their faith against persecution. Others simply refused to surrender their convictions. From Socrates' poison hemlock to Joan of Arc's flames, from Caesar's assassination to Marie Antoinette's guillotine, these 20 figures transformed their final moments into immortal symbols of human courage and defiance. History reduced them to mere dates of death until now. Which execution story resonated with you across the centuries? Which final stand now inspires your own convictions? Tell us in the comments, because to remember them is not just to learn, it's to honor their sacrifice. If their courage moved you, leave a like and subscribe, so together we can restore more souls whose deaths changed the world. At Britain Reimagined, we don't just retell the past, we bring it back to life, one legend at a time.